So, settled in? Okay. Let's talk about the future of news, the state of journalism today, and why it is so important for our country and indeed for the world at large. I want to come back to part of our theme, that a free, truly free, and independent, fiercely independent when necessary press is the red beating heart of freedom and democracy. By the end of this section, I hope you'll see why and think about it. Challenging power, questioning authority, only strengthens this nation. It can strengthen any nation. That is the primary role of journalists, to constantly seek out the truth, or as close to the truth as it's humanly possible to get, no matter how uncomfortable that might be, especially for people in positions of power. I've spent my life working in American television, so if you come to this class from another country, the context about what you're going to hear is about my experiences in the United States, but it certainly could be applicable to many democracies and would-be democracies, hope for democracies around the world. The question at hand is why journalists are important in a democracy. I believe that one of the most important functions of journalism is to seek truth and speak truth to power. In other words, uncover knowledge that the powerful have, information that the public needs to know and has a right to know. You know, I'm reminded that one of my favorite quotations about journalism, I wish it was my quotation, but it isn't, but it goes roughly along these lines. News is what the public needs to know, that someone somewhere, particularly someone in power, doesn't want the public to know. That's news. All the rest is pretty much advertising and propaganda. Now,
so we being the Biden administration, we have sent billions to Ukraine to protect their borders, even as we have opened our own to the world. Why are we doing this exactly? Well, as Joe Biden has told us repeatedly, doing his Winston Churchill imitation, we're doing it to protect democracy. But of course, the irony here is Ukraine is not a democracy in any recognizable sense. The Ukrainian government has banned media outlets that are hostile to it. They've also shut down opposition parties. They arrested the main opposition leader. That's a democracy?
Are now recognized by Moscow as independent. Russia has also established diplomatic relations with the Ukraine separatist-controlled regions after Putin ordered Russian troops into eastern Ukraine. Latest satellite imagery shows new deployments of Russian troops near the border of northeastern Ukraine. Soldiers and equipment have been established in areas less than 20 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. More than 100 military vehicles and dozens of troops tents can be seen in southern Belarus near the Ukrainian border as well. New military activity comes after Putin called for the demilitarization of Ukraine. Russia has in fact issued a series of provocative statements since recognizing the rebel regions. Putin has said that the crisis on Ukrainian-Russian border could be resolved if Kiev recognized Russia's sovereignty over Crimea. Putin has called for international recognition of Crimea as part of Russia. The Black Sea Peninsula was annexed by Moscow from Ukraine in 2014. Putin said that the best solution to the crisis would be for Kiev to drop its NATO membership ambitions and stay neutral. Putin also blamed Kiev instead of Moscow for killing the Minsk peace agreement on Ukraine, adding that there was nothing left to fulfill. The Western brokered peace agreements sought to end the eastern Ukraine conflict.
This is the largest natural gas field in Europe. It lies in Groningen in the north of the Netherlands. After decades of providing gas, production has now nearly come to a halt. Earthquakes caused by gas distraction led to legal battles and thousands of claims from people whose houses were severely damaged. Like the 19th century farm belonging to Annemarie Heijten and her husband Albert, which had to be demolished. The couple rejects the suggestion that Europe might need more gas from Groningen if Russia is not delivering.
The fact that they point their finger to Groningen directly after everything that happened here, and lots and lots of people, thousands of houses still have damage, and our government fails to resolve the problems of the people, and then pointing the finger at Groningen, while our safety is at stake.
The government says gas from Groningen will only be used in case of a severe winter or any other crisis. A shortage of supplies from Russia could mean just that.
What matters? Igor Girkin, a nationalist with 410,000 followers on Telegram who has fiercely criticized Russia's military leadership for being disorganized and ineffective in its campaign against Ukraine, said in a recent post there was wild understaffing of frontline units, while morale was poor with soldiers refusing to fight. He described recent progress by Russian forces in Ukraine as tortoise-like. "We have nothing to attack with in depth," said Girkin, a Russian citizen who played a prominent role in the 2014 Russian takeover of Crimea and weeks later became the first commander of Russia-backed separatist forces in Donbas. Girkin is being tried in absentia in the Netherlands, charged with murder in the 2014 downing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 over eastern Ukraine, where all 298 on board were killed. He has dismissed the trial. A Ukrainian counterattack on Kherson could succeed at least in the short term because it has more troops in a region where Russian forces are relatively weak and have the